Today, I'm going to give you a tour of the UK in 10 different accents. These are the 10 different accents that we are going to have a look at today in detail, analysing how the vowels and consonants change depending on the region. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will find it much easier to understand most Brits across the UK when they're talking to you in English. Now I'm going to play the first video. I want you to listen carefully and tell me which accent you think it is.
We will have 50,000 more nurses by the end of the decade and 40 more hospitals by the end of... 50,000 nurses by the end of this parliament, I should say.
This is RP, or received pronunciation. Sometimes RP is referred to as the Queen's English, BBC English, or Oxford English. RP is generally broken into two types. Conservative RP, which is mainly used by royalty, elite individuals like the Prime Minister, and other politicians. But you also have contemporary RP, which is the accent that I usually use because I'm a teacher. There's no specific regional location for received pronunciation, but it's more commonly heard in the south of England. It's most likely the accent that comes to mind when you think of English from the UK, which is interesting because apparently at the moment only about 3% of the population actually use it. Now if we're talking about RP, we need to discuss the trap-bath split. What is that? Well, the split involves a difference in pronunciation of the two vowel sounds, a as in trap and r as in bath. In a lot of other accents, especially in the north of the UK, the pronunciation of this vowel would be the same, trap, bath. The split between a and r, trap, bath, only occurs in words that are spelt with an a, which appear before one of the following consonant sounds or clusters. If you would like to model your own accent on RP, just go to Cambridge or Oxford Dictionary. You'll see the phonetic transcription of any word that you're looking for. Now we have accent 2. Listen carefully and tell me what accent you think this is.
And they go, what does that rhyme? I go, it doesn't rhyme with anything. It doesn't have to rhyme all the time. It's just the way that East Londoners speak. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little subtle things.
This is the Cockney accent. And that was a famous actor in the UK called Danny Dyer. Cockney actually originated from the East End of London, but now you'll hear it all over London. Let's have a look at the way some of the consonant sounds are pronounced in the Cockney accent. Let's begin with the unvoiced TH sound. This would normally be pronounced as th, like think, think. However, in Cockney, the TH sound is often replaced with the F sound. So instead of saying I think, you would say I think, I think. I think a lot of things. I think a lot of things. Cockneys also drop a couple of consonant sounds. They tend not to pronounce the T when it's in the middle or at the end of a word. For example, this word, water, would become water. Here's an example everyone's going to love. In RP first, you got a bottle of water. In Cockney, you got a bottle of water. You got a bottle of water. This funny looking symbol, a bit like a question mark, is called a glottal stop. And although it's used in other British accents, it's very common in the Cockney accent. To hear more Cockney accents, check out films like Snatch, or Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, or even the long-running soap opera EastEnders. Number 3, what accent is this?
No more questions. Don't ask any more questions.
This is the West Country accent. Interestingly, the actor who plays Hagrid in Harry Potter, Robbie Coltrane, is actually from Scotland, but he does a great job with the West Country accent. Where is the West Country? It's the most southwestern part of England and typically includes some of the following places: Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, Dorset, Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, and even at times Bristol. The West Country is known for its coastal areas. They have some of the best beaches in the UK, like Woolacombe or Fistral Beach. As for their accent, the most noticeable aspect is that they use the rhotic R, which means the R is always pronounced. For example, turn becomes turn. Professor becomes professor. Basically, you sound a bit like a pirate. So whenever there's an R, particularly at the end of a word like car, far, bar, you'll have the strong R sound like car, far, bar. This way of pronouncing R exists in American English, but in other accents across the UK, apart from the West Country, it's rarely used. Another aspect of the West Country accent is that the sound, like in the word up, is sometimes replaced with the sound, like in the word book. A good example could be this word, love in RP, becomes love in the West Country accent. If you want to listen to the West Country accent a little more, I'd recommend watching a film called Hot Fuzz. It's a comedy set in a fictional West Country village. Next up, what do you think this accent is?
What am I going to do here to like surprise them? And then they tried pressing us the other day and they couldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know we only won 1-0.
This is the Brummie accent, which is from the city of Birmingham, the second largest city in the UK, but I'm sure you probably heard it from a very famous TV show, Peaky Blinders. Now, people who speak with a Brummie accent often change the A sound to an I sound. For example, take, they, stay becomes take, they, stay. Like I may have mentioned before, I'm not very good at accents, so I do apologise, unless I'm trying to impersonate one of the Shelby brothers. Tommy, go and fetch my gun. Another common thing you'll hear in the Brummie accent is how the schwa sound, is pronounced more like like in the word cat. This is particularly true for words that have an ER ending. So instead of saying water, better, player, they would say water, better, player. If you want to learn more about the Brummie accent, I recommend that you try to watch some of Frank Skinner's comedy shows. Now tell me, what's this accent?
A song of hope, a song of courage, a victory song that floats through the valleys like a red mist.
This is the Welsh accent, which of course is from Wales. While it's part of the UK, Wales is its own country and even has its own language. So when you go there, you'll see the road signs in English and Welsh. There are many variations of the Welsh accent, but usually it's divided between South and North Wales. A Welsh accent across Wales will sound very rhythmic. It's more musical in its intonation than other British accents. This is mostly due to the elongation of some of the vowels without overdoing them. For example, the verb go in should be pronounced as go in, go in. For more authentic examples of the Welsh accent, I would recommend that you watch a TV series called Gavin and Stacey, which features many Welsh actors. Or one of my favourite films, Submarine. On to the next accent. Wait. Just before we have a look at the next accent, I want to share with you a place where you can work on your own accent in English. Live XP is a platform where you can find the best English language tutors for private one-on-one classes. I highly recommend this platform if you want to speak with native speakers while at the same time boosting your conversational skills, upgrading your pronunciation, and of course, polishing your accent. The main reason I love this platform is because you can filter the tutors by the country that they're from. So you can look for an English tutor from the UK, from the USA, Australia, Canada, and so on, allowing you to focus on replicating the English accent you prefer. Also, you can select a tutor that can help you with specific goals, which will help you to save time and allow you to enjoy the classes more. And if you're worried that you might be too busy, don't worry. You can select a schedule that suits you best so you never have to worry about missing a class again. Here's a clip of me enjoying my Portuguese class a few days ago. My teacher was amazing because he was able to clearly explain the grammar we were learning in that class. He also helped me to make my own examples, which gave me more confidence to speak in Portuguese. On top of that, he used professional materials and made notes that I can review later in my free time. If you look in the description below, you will find a link that will allow you to get a trial class for only 99 cents. And when you're ready to subscribe, check out the second link. This will give you 30% off your monthly subscription. Now tell me, what accent do you think this next person is using?
Obviously, I've got a problem straight up to older hey. My dad goes straight there. But again, the technology isn't like that.
This is the Scouse accent. Scouse is an accent that comes from the lovely city of Liverpool, famous for their two football teams, Liverpool and Everton FC, but also a little band called The Beatles. When many English students visit the UK, they often find this to be the hardest accent to understand, and this might be due to the way that this consonant is pronounced. When k appears at the end of a syllable in Scouse, it can be pronounced as a fricative k. For example, kick, rock, background, bloke. Also, the T sound at the end of a word is often pronounced as h. So a combination of both those sounds in a sentence like I like that look a lot sounds like I like that look a lot. I like that look a lot. I like that look a lot. That was really, really hard. Why is the Scouse accent so different? The Scouse accent is highly distinctive because it was influenced by Irish and Welsh immigrants who arrived via the Liverpool docks, as well as Scandinavian sailors. Famous Scousers include football legends Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard. If you type their names into YouTube, you'll get some great examples of the Scouse accent that you can try to imitate yourself. Tell me, what accent do you think this is?
In life can change your perspective on them things, and I think for me, like, since I've had my daughter and since she was born, like...
This is the Yorkshire accent. There are some differences between West and East Yorkshire, but in general you will hear this accent in places like Leeds, Sheffield or York, to name a few. The one word that always makes me think of Yorkshire is how they pronounce this word. So instead of saying nothing, they would say now. It's nothing to do with me, it's nout to do with me. There's also out instead of anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't see out. Also, the words the and to are often replaced with a simple t sound. For example, I'm going to shop. You want out? I'm going to the shop. You want anything? If you want to listen to this accent more, there are loads and loads of famous people from Yorkshire, such as Lewis Tomlinson from One Direction, or Arctic Monkeys frontman Alex Turner. Next accent, what's this?
We use this a lot.
We still use this.
We still use this a lot. You daft Raji. It's like you're kind of like an idiot. You are like
a bit mad.
This is the Geordie accent, and you will hear it way up north on the border with Scotland in a city called Newcastle and the surrounding areas. And because it's so close to Scotland, you will hear similar words that Scots usually say, like I, meaning yes, or at times barn, which means child. Another word that's commonly used that makes me think of the Geordie accent straight away is hawe, which means come on. In terms of pronunciation, it's typical for words that end in er or or to change from a schwa sound, to a near open central vowel, a. So over becomes over, over. There's a really famous TV show, or maybe I should say infamous TV show, filmed in Newcastle called Geordie Shore. It's a bit trashy, but very entertaining with drama in every episode. And of course, you'll hear lots of Geordie accents. Just 2 more to go. Tell me what this accent is.
I'm saying that a number of parliamentary colleagues who have disabilities do find it quite difficult getting around certain parts of the state, given that we're doing this refurbishment work.
This is a Scottish accent. I say a Scottish accent because, well, Scotland is very linguistically diverse. There are many variations of a Scottish accent. In contrast to received pronunciation that we looked at the beginning of the video, Scottish English is rhotic, meaning the R is always pronounced. Also, there is no foot-goose split. Vowel sounds like or oo are both pronounced as ud. For example, a phrase like good food in Scotland is likely to be pronounced as good food. If you want to hear an authentic Scottish accent, I love the actor Ewan McGregor. Give him a search online. You also have the great film Trainspotting. And finally, what's this accent?
I once tried to do a whole conversation with these builders who were working at my dad's house by only saying boys a dear.
This is indeed the Northern Irish accent. Just like Wales and Scotland, Northern Ireland is its own country, and therefore linguistically the accent is quite diverse. But let's just have a look at the main features today. The Northern Irish accent is a rhotic accent, so the R is always pronounced. For example, Northern Ireland would be pronounced as Northern Ireland. Another distinct feature of this accent is the pronunciation of the ow diphthong. The shape of the mouth is much narrower, and therefore a phrase like my house would be said more like my house. If you want to hear more Northern Irish accents, check out the TV series Dairy Girls. Not only is it hilarious, but you also get a great insight to the history of the country. Okay, so that's everything for this video. I hope you found that really interesting about exploring different accents in the UK. And remember, whatever accent you use, don't worry, they're all beautiful. If you want to continue practicing your English, check out this video. You have to click it. Click it now. Check it out. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. I'll see you next time.